everybody, welcome to this week's question and answer video. I usually come out on with these on Monday, but today's Wednesday. It's been an awfully busy week for me. A good week though. It's good to be busy, but it's out today. I answer people's questions every single week in these. I make a recommendation. I suggest that all of you, if you have a question, go down below in the comment section, ask me anything you want, and I will answer it next week in the weekly question and answer video. This week I'm answering people's questions from last week. Okay, I like to make a recommendation every single week, and I've got one for this week, and it is another book. I recommended a book last week, and it's been a while since I have, and I got another book this week. And I base my recommendations typically on the questions you guys are asking. So a lot of them were about communication. And so I picked a book on boundaries. Boundaries is a way of communicating your comfort zone to someone in a relationship with. Okay? We don't need to communicate how we feel and what we want and need to people who aren't in our life. We just need to be safe. That's more protective. That's more walls. Boundaries aren't necessarily just to protect you. A lot of people confuse boundaries with walls and think that it's to protect me. Stay away. Bad person. Look for bad people. No. It's a way of communicating where you want someone in the relationship. So if someone is too close, right? You're calling me too much. You're too much of my time. You're demanding, and you're asking too many private questions. He says, please take a step back. That's where I'm comfortable at. Maybe it's my wife that I feel distant from lately because I haven't seen her. We've worked so much. Our schedules have been conflicting. We haven't been able to hang out, and we haven't really had any intimate time alone, talking, connecting. And I tell her and I ask her, please come forward. I want you closer. I want you here. This is where I like you. This is where I'm comfortable with you. And so think of this communication as a measure of your self-worth. Okay? Right? I have to be vulnerable, and I have to ask for what I want and what I need and accept things and apologize and all this stuff. Okay? And it's a measure of my self-worth. Please stop doing that. I am worthy of being treated better. Please, can you give me this, what I need, my emotional needs from you? I'm worthy of having them met. Okay? So, great way to begin communication and relationships. All right. I found a book on Amazon called Boundaries, updated and expanded version or edition. When to say yes, how to say no to take control of your life. The paperback is $12.73 on Amazon. The link is down below in the description box if you wish to look into it or purchase it. Anybody who's read it, please give us your feedback down below. Anyone who does read it, let us know what you think. Thank you very much. So let's get into the questions. First one is from Emily in South Africa. Hello, Emily. How can you start conversations with people easier? Small talk. What's the most common small talk we have? Weather. And I know a lot of you guys say, oh God, I hate small talk. I hate that. But try to understand that every single interaction we have with human beings matters. Okay? We don't have to remember the person. Okay? We don't even have to remember what we talked about, but the interaction is very important for us. Every interaction, okay? And it doesn't matter what we talk about, Emily. You don't have anything in common with strangers, do you? Not much that you know of. And that's why we choose weather. That's one thing we all have in common. If we're together standing side by side, or even if I'm talking to someone from far away. Oh, what's the weather like over there? Oh, it's like this over here. Try to appreciate these interactions with people, these experiences we have all the time. And it will help you be better at it. It'll help you be more outgoing and a desire to connect with people and more comfortable. The more positive experiences you have, the more confidence you'll build doing this and be more outgoing. There's actually a chemical reaction that happens, and we have more oxytocin when we do this. And the more oxytocin that we have when we do this makes us want to keep doing it more and more and more. Okay? All right. So how do you start conversations? You start them. Emily, you just start talking about something. Hi, how are you? Maybe ask somebody what their name is. My name's Emily. What's your name? You like the weather? Been waiting for the bus very long? You know? Some people may not like it, and you'll pick that up right away and leave them alone. Okay. Next question is, oh, Emily, another one. I have trouble concentrating, and when I put things down, I almost immediately forget where I put it. My mind feels tired. I'm sorry, your mind's tired. This is mindfulness. We have self-awareness, we have awareness of our emotions and what we value and what we need, and then we have awareness of what we're doing. Mindfulness. These kinds of things may be frustrating you a lot, and so we have to be very kind to ourselves, very forgiving, understanding, and compassionate. Self-compassion, Emily. We all have problems. Acknowledge that some of the problems, or a problem that you may have, is this, and understand why. Okay? Your brain's working overtime due to the trauma you've had in your life. Always on guard and looking on high alert, making us focus and concentrate and stuff really well, but over a long time it doesn't work very well. So we need to get away from the trauma, have comfort in our life again. Mindfulness. Be very mindful of what you're doing, Emily, and start saying every little thing what you want to do. I want to take this and I want to put it in this place because that's where it goes, and you pay attention and keep thinking about it, one thing at a time. And be easy on yourself. And next question is from Sally from Canada. Thank you for telling us where you're from, Sally. That's something that I ask you guys to do. If you can, ask a question, pop in, say hi, and tell us where you're located. You be general. Thank you. Any idea on what might be going on when daughter, after 15 months, wants to get the relationship going again after rejecting our numerous requests to talk during that time? She's now in therapy, told us we were good parents, apologized, did best we could, but I'm still hurting, feel betrayed, and hard to trust again. I'm sorry, Sally, that's sad. I particularly am fond of mother-daughter relationships, and I think they're really important, and it's always sad if they fail or not healthy. Sally, what do you want? Can you trust her again? Do you want to try again? Be fair with yourself and know this, right? If you can't trust her, don't want to try again, then that's where you're at. But, I'm sure you and a lot of other people hope that this can work again. It looks like you tried. You had numerous requests to talk, and she rejected them. But now she's ready. It sounds like, I don't know her. I'm not trying to speak for her, but she says she's been to therapy. You're good parents. She wants to talk again. Is that what you want, Sally? We want a clean slate. So think about the things that have hurt you. Do they still hurt? I think it sounds like both of you need to come out with some things that may still hurt both of you. And maybe you could do that safely. Maybe you could do that with her therapist or another one or something. But realize what you want, Sally, in this relationship with her, and then ask yourself if she's capable. Maybe she is now. Maybe she wasn't. Maybe she is now. Do you want to give that a try? Because the only way you can trust her is to just try and trust her again. Okay? But that's up to you. No one can tell you to do that, if you should or shouldn't. That's you. Go slow. Go safe. Decide if you want to continue. You try again. What are the terms of your relationship? What are her terms? And speak about them, right? Tell each other what the terms are, and only continue if they're agreed upon. Okay? Keep your boundaries. Maybe get the book Boundaries. Maybe buy her a book. Say, hey, I just bought this for myself. You want it too? You want to read it with me? We can learn boundaries together. I'm sure that would really help both of you right now. Okay? Good luck, Sally. Just because I hope that it does work out, because there's maybe a possibility that both of you could really benefit from it. Maybe she's changed a little bit of her behaviors and stuff. I don't know, Sally. I don't know. It's up to what you want and you learning how to stay safe. Okay? And I wanted to add, I didn't get to say, but boundaries and communicating, the best way you're going to be able to do that is to know who you are. We've got to know what we want. We've got to know what we need. We've got to know how we feel. We've got to know what we value. We need to know these things, and the better that you know these things, the better you'll be able to communicate. Doesn't that make sense? I ask people all the time what they want. Most of the time I don't know. And so if I'm in a relationship and I don't know what I need, how am I going to get that? How am I going to get what I want? A lot of people don't know how they feel. We're so good at ignoring it, numbing it, being ashamed of it, feeling guilty about our feelings. But knowing these really well, you can communicate better to your partner how you feel. That's where it starts. Yeah. All right. Emily again says, I have trouble concentrating. And when I put, I'm just reading I'm going backwards here than the normal way I usually go. Saida from France. Hello. David, I could watch all the videos on YouTube about red flags. I do not think it would help me to know that I am dealing with a toxic person. It is better to first rely on the signals that I get from my unconscious mind and then on the regular red flags. I had a very strange vision when I was talking to a woman. The image of a difficult group of 7th grade I used to teach. It kept coming back to my mind when I was talking with her or thinking of her. It was the first time I had experienced such a weird association, so I do not know what to do with it. Now, I guess my intuition was telling me that this woman is as difficult as these teens arrested in her development and probably a narc. So I'd better be on my guard. Eventually I realized, and another person too, that she is toxic. So my point is that we already know the red flags with our intuition, dreams, unconsciously. We know all this. And then the videos about the red flags give us an external validation, but internally we have the knowledge. What do you think about it? You left the important part out. Feelings, emotions. That's what red flags are, right? A red flag is emotionally significant. If it's not emotionally significant, why would it be a red flag? And some of us have passed on red flags because it wasn't emotionally enough significant, because we're used to danger, we're used to neglect, we're used to abuse, we're used to silent treatment, we're used to all these things a little bit. And so it's not as emotionally significant, so we didn't pay attention to the red flags. It was easier to ignore. Maybe my self-worth wasn't high enough, and I said, I'm not worthy of better, it's okay. I don't know, but you left that part out. And that's the part that we go by, how we feel, not what we think. Our thoughts aren't necessarily, who we are as much as, if it's coming from our brain. It's how we feel. If I'm compromising my value system because I'm allowing someone into my life that doesn't value what I value, that doesn't feel very good. That's a red flag. It's not about good person, bad person, hurt me, don't hurt me. You go by you, who you are, your values, your feelings, your needs, and your wants. And you can better communicate your boundaries and stay safer. Okay? The person that reminded you of your 7th grade class you taught were your emotions. The only reason you remember this experience from your 7th grade class that you taught is because it was emotionally significant. And so try to figure out, maybe, suggestion, what were your emotions? What was your body doing? What were the feelings that you had from your 7th grade class? Can you remember those exactly? Pinpoint what were the feelings you had? What do you call them? And then why do you think you felt that way from that class? What was happening and going on that made you feel that way? And then realize that this person is probably bringing up similar feelings. And this is how we learn. Right? You guys had feelings in the beginning and during the middle and the end of your relationship that felt horrible, that we ignored, and then we paid for the price, yeah? And so we learn and we recognize that if I feel this way again, what do I want to do next time? Okay? I think that's what's going on. I think that you have emotionally significant experience teaching the 7th grade class, and now you have those similar feelings again from this person. It might be similar reasons. That's why you're having similar emotional reactions. Okay? Thank you. And Emily again. Everything feels overwhelming. How can I make things feel less intense and take better care of myself? And I wrote down here, I'm sorry for your emotions and how intense they can be, Emily. Try to not ignore them. Express them in healthy ways, exercising, writing, talking, telling people. Eliminate stress the best way you know how, and do things that make you feel better. Okay? What excites you? What makes you feel comfortable? What makes you feel good? What are you interested in? Try to do those things. Eliminate the stress in your life. Find out how. Okay? And start expressing these emotions you're having. We don't have to act them all out, but we can talk about them and tell people, what do I feel? Why do I feel that way? Okay, are you doing that, Emily? Yeah. You having trouble with that? Maybe you need some help. But reading and studying might help you too. Learning some of these things that I recommend. Saida again. Oh, it's just back and forth with you two. Thanks for your beautiful answer about the narc partner making me dependent on him and at the same time not meeting my needs. So I guess I do not need to be afraid anymore of meeting a man's needs as long as he is healthy, of course. There is another thing about the narc. At the beginning, sure, I felt at the beginning, I felt hopeless and helpless when he left, but after a while, I liked when he left because at least I could rest, take care of myself, educate myself about narcissism, become more conscious of what I was experiencing, and I hated it when he came back. And those are called the golden periods in abusive relationships. Right? The man, I hate to always blame the man, but the man gets drunk and beats his wife at night, goes to bed, she stays up and gets that alone time at night. 2 in the morning is her favorite hour, and all she does is wait for him to go to work. And she loves it. She doesn't even do anything. She sits, watch soap operas, eat bonbons, just has to have the house kind of clean, start cleaning at about 3 in the afternoon, and then he gets home and it's, and we call those the golden periods, and it's intermittent abuse. And these cycles, up and down, from all of our stress chemicals and your dose, your feel-good hormones as well, they alternate. And this is the damage it causes to your brain and your nervous system. These things stop working very well, and then soon enough we all have just stress chemicals, no more feel-good hormones. Even the receptors may not even work well. Damage, 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 damage. Thank you. And Rory from Ohio. Hi, Rory. Thanks for another great Q&A video. Thank you for great questions. My question is, how can you really ever communicate with a narcissist? We were told in therapy we need to communicate more. When we did communicate, I felt like I was just talking to myself. It felt like it was falling on deaf ears. Do they really know how to listen unless it's their own words? I don't know how much they even listen to their own words. That's their words. That their words are the only ones that deserve to be heard. I hope you're enjoying your weekend. It's great to be home. I'm glad you're home too, Rory. I did enjoy my weekend. Thank you. So we all need to communicate more. We all need to be better at communicating. It's not easy. The more we're neglected growing up, the worse we are at communicating. You can see adults and see how bad they are at communicating, maybe even speech problems and stuff, and you know that they're very, very neglected to the point where some people become socially inept. Narcissists can't communicate well because they don't know who the hell they are. And that's why I stress, the better you know who you are, the better you can communicate. They don't know who they are, and they don't relate to people very well at all. Okay? Relationship. Don't maintain relationships very well. They're broken children. Okay? How much did you listen to your parents? Because that's all you are to them. It's like a parent. We never listen. Don't even understand them. Can't relate to them. A 7-year-old boy has a lot of difficulty relating to a 30-year-old man or woman, don't they? Difficult, very difficult. Rory, no matter what, when we have a problem, we fix it in the relationship. Okay, problems with ourselves we need to fix too. Sometimes we can, sometimes we can't. We keep trying, but we have to live with ourselves, don't we? Relationships, we don't. Relationships will have problems, and we will try to fix them, or not try, but regardless, no matter how hard two people might try, doesn't mean you can fix it. If we can't fix the problem, the relationship is over. Just like that. It's over. I don't like that you do this to me. You can't do that to me. You're not allowed to do it one more time. It's over. We try to communicate. We can't. You don't listen to me. Honey, you're not listening to me. I write it down. Can you read it? We go to a therapist. He's still not listening to me. It's over. Doesn't matter if he wants to. Doesn't matter if he doesn't want to. Doesn't matter if you want to or don't want to. Doesn't matter if both of you are highly educated, well-informed, no psychology, relationship experts. Doesn't matter. Doesn't work. Well, he's not trying hard enough. It's over. Do you see that? well, she has problems and can't really do this part. It's over. Okay? We went to a therapist. She said we need to communicate better. I tried to talk to him. He won't listen to me. Honey, you won't listen to me. Here's how I feel. Here's what I want. Here's what I need. Can you read it? Can you understand this? Can you repeat it back to me? Do you know? You know, some people just aren't capable. And these are the type of people that we're dealing with. We all have our own problems, like I said. But sometimes our own problems can come in and interfere in our relationships with people, so that these problems are now yours, the relationship problems. And if they're personal problems in the relationship, they can't be fixed. You need to go fix those personally. And that's not going to marriage counseling. Right? If I have narcissistic personality disorder, it's not going to do me any good to go to marriage counseling with my wife and we're going to make it work. No. I have severe mental illness. I can't form and maintain relationships with anybody. It's not the marriage counseling I need. It's something much, much, much more. Right? Do you see that? And I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. And we need, Roy, I hope that you know that you tried your hardest over and over again, and maybe too much, but you tried your hardest, okay? And I think that's what really counts in relationships, okay? Like I said, they're going to fail, and when they do, not all relationships are saying the relationships that fail, they're going to fail, and when they do, it feels really good to be true to ourselves, to try to communicate really well, be vulnerable, be honest, have integrity, be respectful, right? And we communicate and try to get what we need, try to meet their needs, and try these things, and try really hard. And then it failed. That's a lot easier than not trying and failing for some reason, right? People want to stay safe and not committed and not try, and it fails. Great. No, I'm going to try really hard. If I fail, I fail. But if I succeed, I succeed. And maybe the failures will help me succeed someday. Okay? Thank you, Rory. And guess who? Saida again from France. I have heard about a French couple. I like this. I've heard about a French couple who traveled by bike from Alaska to the south of Argentina. Wow. Thousands of miles. An amazing trip. They had a great time together. I wonder what time of year. I'd hope summer. Great time together, and sometimes, of course, they were fed up with each other. I couldn't imagine. They got organized in a very interesting way. One partner had all the food and one had all the equipment to sleep and supplies. So they needed each other for survival. One couldn't be without the other. They had a team. They couldn't leave in an impulsive way, get in a fight and run off. So they had to make the effort to communicate with each other, even when they did not feel like doing so. I find this very inspiring. I would love to have a similar experience with a future partner for fun first, but as a test of the relationship too, to improve my communication skills and to fully trust someone again. Do you find this kind of experience inspiring? A good way to unmask a toxic partner too, isn't it? Have you ever had such an experience in a romantic relationship or with friends? If yes, did it benefit you? Well, I don't know if I've had a similar experience like that. That's extreme. But what I like is the idea of having a honeymoon first, before you get married. Have a honeymoon, right? And the more you're stuck with each other for the longest period of time, the better. And then after you make it through that, then you get married. What do you guys think about that? What's your guys' opinions? Besides, I mean, you can share your opinion about marriage and all that, but I've thought about, for me, I love wilderness, tropical settings. Yeah, I want to be put on an island with my partner for a month. And we build our shelter and home and make our food and all this stuff. Yeah, I'm not kidding. And go for at least a month with my partner. If we make it through that, we'll make it for life, maybe. All too often I hear people talk about the honeymoon and how absolutely awful it was. The first night I knew we were doomed. The first night, that was the day you got married. That was your wedding day. Yes, I know. Right after the wedding, he changed. You notice how your toxic partners don't do very well in stressful situations, vacations, stuff like that, holidays, right? Always start a fight. Think about it. You might have to think about it more. But yeah, how about being put alone together somewhere for a month or two? And how about eking out survival things, We have to catch and cook our food and stuff like that, yeah? Real teamwork. They say the ultimate test of a marriage could be building a house or remodeling a house. And go do that. Build your house first together, then get married. right? I mean, we always talk about, should we have sex? Should we have children before we're married? What about all these other things? What do you guys think? I think this is great. That's a great story. Yeah, I'd like to know how they're doing now. Do you know? Any updates? Was that just recent? Thank you for sharing that. And Roy from Ohio again. Oh, no, it's not. I'm going backwards. Again. Okay. Oh, and there's more to Saida, from Saida. Thanks for sharing your thoughts about politicians. I did not know successful people were chosen as mayors back in the days because of their successful lives and businesses. What a huge difference with today. Yeah, and they didn't get paid. They managed a successful farm, ranch, store, business, and family. Raised the children. Everybody's great. And they go be a politician on the side for free as a service. And everybody wanted them. You're the mayor. Oh, not doing well, good enough job. You're not the mayor anymore. You're the mayor now. Joe, Lisa, right? That's how it used to work. Government has expanded quite a bit in every country, hasn't it? And Saida still, I had a deep feeling of betrayal and losing my own self-worth with the last, or no, you losing yourself with the last smear campaign. The narc partner used to behave as if he knew everybody in the town and especially in the neighborhood, so when I managed to get him out of my life, everybody in my neighborhood was against me. It is as if I had no more self, completely transparent, and that everybody was allowed to hurt me. I was in such a state of alert that every look or twisted smile hurt me. I could not walk past some cafes without the fear of being beaten up or being stabbed. When a woman smiled at me, wow, that's pretty intense, being killed, smiled at me, I thought she was one of his former mistresses, but despite the tensions of the smear campaign, I was good, polite, and agreeable with everybody. My fear decreased day after day. I realized that many people sided with him, but were not ready to take any action for him. They were busy with their own lives. People forgot about him. Some people left the neighborhood. Others settled in. Last week, I walked past one of the cafes where he used to meet his friends. I was focused on what I had to do. Then suddenly I stopped, and all these memories came back to me. The sick narrative about me, how scared I was of his friends, and now I walk and do not see them anymore. Isn't this wonderful? Yes. And you left out the feelings. You don't get the feelings anymore. That's why it's wonderful. Yeah, good. And, you know, maybe you're facing your fears and building up confidence from having better experiences every time you walk by that. That's great. I wanted to share that because smear campaigns are awful. They're so debilitating, aren't they? They disable you. All parts of your life. And for those of you who haven't already, I have a petition I started. Stop online narcissistic bullying. Petition. If you can sign it, it's right down below in the description box, in the comment section. It's global. All of you around the world, follow it, touch it, done. It'll help it. Thank you. And Saida, I'm happy for you, and I'm really sorry for what you have endured, being so scared in that area. And, you know, try to learn, Saida, that these people that were busy with their lives and didn't take action against you, it's because it's wrong. It's because it's wrong. And most people know that's wrong, and most people are healthy enough to know that it's not good to talk bad about people and smear people. And, you know, they don't know, they either don't know him or they don't know you, right? If they believe the bad stuff about you, they obviously don't know you. If they're gravitating towards it and listening to it, talking bad and sharing it and spreading it and attacking you, they're sick, they're unhealthy. And just please, please trust that there's enough healthy people that sees the truth, because there is. Good for you. Thank you for sharing that. And Kristen from North Carolina, hello. Do the narcissists carefully select their victims? Do they have a sense when a person is empathic and very forgiving? My issue is I do not hold grudges. I am very forgiving. It hurts because if I say I do something wrong, I own it and I make it right. I try not to repeat any wrongdoing. Hurts when grown people can't talk about issues. To me, ghosting is a coward's way out. And I have more respect for anyone that will own their own faults. Yes, that is very respectful. Ghosting is absolutely awful. Stop doing it, people. Tell people the truth and why you want to end the relationship. Jesus. Do narcissists carefully select their victims? Well, you know, I mean, each one is dependent, right? They're all different, even though they seem like they all read out of the same playbook, right? And we're really talking about personalities that's disordered, and so it's who they are. And so yes, there's lots of similarities, but they are all different and do different things different ways. And do they carefully select their victims? We got to understand what they value. So they're dependent people. They want people to always forgive them and accept them. They have problems with being accepted. They find nice people that accept them into their lives. They want to find people with low self-worth, people with not very good communication skills, people that may increase their value in status. The somatic narcissist cares about sex and looks, so they really might just be trying to have sex with you, and they want you to be really pretty, or handsome, and maybe even though you're not good enough looking for them, they'll still have sex with you, and then after a while they don't like you anymore because you're not good enough looking. And that's the kind of selection they care about, or money or status or a good job, or you're just there for them, or they can move in with you and leech off you, or you're just always going to accept their BS. And whatever the reasons are, do they carefully select their victims? They have mental illness, okay? They don't get very good selection at all. And they may be able to have a 1 date, 2 date, have sex with somebody, but as prolonged relationships, they have to find someone that has grown up in toxic relationships, been neglected, been abused, has lower self-worth. Do you see that? To accept someone with such severe mental illness in their life. People gravitate to what they identify with. That's why until we are healed, we gravitate and identify with, because we feel so sorry for people that are suffering. We want to help them and fix them and take care of them and take them home and give them a bath and clothe them and feed them. And why don't we do that for ourselves? Because once we do that for ourselves, we'll realize that people need to and better be doing that for themselves. And we don't need to save the world. We need to save ourselves. And that's what we identify with. And once we heal, we stop doing that. Until then, we identify with toxic, sick, neglectful. Think about narcissistic people, the grandiose narcissists. If you have a pattern of grandiose narcissists in your life, more than likely you might have a grandiose father, mother. Okay? Things we need to heal from, stop repeating. Do they carefully select their victims? Well, I mean, they've got fears of rejection, things like this, so they might be careful. But then you got some that will ask 1,000 women out knowing that one will finally give it up that night. I've known narcissists walking around. You want to have sex? You want to have sex? You want to have sex? Oh, I found one. So do they carefully select their victims? It's kind of a difficult question because it's a broad brush. You're talking about a percentage of society, significant percentage, several percents. So you're talking about millions of people, and they aren't all going to carefully select their victims. No. They could have such low self-worth, they'll just anybody who accepts them in their life. You guys always tell me, hey, they always degrade. Why do they go to someone uglier and someone because they're dependent. They need someone in their life. You're gone's the next person, and if they happen to not be as good looking and not as smart or not as skinny or whatever, then they'll just take it because they got low self-worth and they need people in their life. They're dependent on this emotionally. So how careful are they then? Yeah. I think it's really about what they value and how they feel about themselves in the partners they choose. And that's what we do too, and what we identify with. Yeah. You guys maybe you guys used to like or still like people over, flattering you and idealizing you. Why? Maybe our self-esteem isn't high enough. And once it is, we won't like that anymore. We don't identify with that anymore. See that? The drug addict identifies with other drug addicts until he heals his pain and doesn't use drugs anymore and doesn't identify with that, doesn't have drug addicts in his life anymore. Makes sense, yeah? That's it, guys. That's all the questions. Thank you for the great, great questions. Thank you very much. No such thing as a bad question, so please ask me anything you want, always. Okay? Only bad answers. I'll try my best, and any repetitive questions are welcome. Keep them coming. Anything. Personality disorders, any personality disorder, a lot about trauma, neglect, emotional needs, dating, c-ptsd, anything like that. Okay? And love yourself first, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.